Welcome to today's session as part of the Cambridge Live experience about how to help your students improve their writing with Write and Improve. My name is Yamuna Vinga and I work at Cambridge Assessment English as a Senior Marketing Manager based here in Cambridge in the United Kingdom. And presenting the session today, we have my colleague, Diane Nichols. Diane is the Head of Annotation and Product Specialist at English Language iTutoring Limited, also known as ELITE. Now, like most of you, we're working from home, but we're aiming to give you the best experience we can. And just like you probably, we're relying on home Wi-Fi. So please bear with us if we have any issues. But before we start, and before I start presenting actually the deck, here are a few suggestions to help you get the most out of today's session. We do recommend headphones to get better quality audio and to also hear better. Try not to have absolutely anything else running, especially Skype. So switch off any other programs if you can. And please don't worry if the picture is a bit blurry at first. That's because we're live streaming as well, and it should hopefully improve. Now, during the webinar, you'll need to be able to use the chat box on the right side of your screen. And please use that chat box if you want to type in any comments. I've been watching and you've been sending in lots of comments about where you're based. We've got everyone from Italy and Spain and Indonesia and Peru and Colombia. So welcome everyone. But please use the Q&A box for any questions to our presenter, Diane. And if it's something that we can answer straight away, we'll type an answer to you. And we're definitely going to try and keep some questions for the Q&A session towards the end. So please don't worry if your question is not answered straight away. So without further ado, let's get started. And I'm just going to now share our wonderful presentation so that Diane can begin.
So, hello everyone. I'm thrilled to be here. It's fantastic to be part of this amazing event. Great to talk to so many teachers from all over the world. I don't have much time, so it would be great if we could get started. I have a few slides first, Yamuna. This is the first slide about Write and Improve. I want to talk to you about how this tool can help your students improve their writing. Write and Improve is a free online writing practice tool with more than 200 tasks at 3 different levels, plus business writing tasks and a workbook just for fun, which is sort of comic strips and image prompts and things that are out of the ordinary sort of task that you get. Students can also set their own tasks to write about any topic they like, which is great, they love that. And what they do is they submit their writing online and they get instant error feedback in a matter of seconds. I'll show you. And a score on the CEFR scale to show them where they are compared to their peers, for example. And then they can try to increase that score. This is where the Improve comes in. They can make changes to their writing based on the feedback we've given them. And they can check again to see their improvement and hopefully raise their score. And they can do that as many times as they like. And students find that really engaging. And next slide, Yamuna. So for teachers, they can create their own workbooks and invite their students to join them. So then they can share tasks with them, set work for them. They can copy any of more than 250 tasks to their own workbooks. And you can also create your own task to suit your students' needs and interests or things you've been covering in class for homework. And you can set those tasks for your students to do at home or in the classroom collaboratively as a process writing exercise, whatever. And that is all entirely free. Next slide, please. Now there is a premium product which you need to pay for, which is called Plus Class View, and this is for teachers, and it gives extra features on top of what you've just heard about. So it gives you all the test zone tasks included for free. So these are 3 workbooks, one for IELTS practice tests, academic, one for IELTS general training practice tests, and one for B2 First practice tests. These are things students have to pay for as extras, but if you have a ClassView subscription, you get those totally free and you can include them and share them in your workbooks to share with your students, bringing the total ready-to-use tasks in the library to about 400. And you can create tasks that will then give a score on the IELTS scale or on the B2 First scale, depending on which tasks you're using. You can see your students' work, which is not the case in the free version. So you'll be able to see your students' work with the feedback they got from our system, the automatic feedback, what they did with that feedback, what scores they got, how many changes they made, and how it improved their writing, and of course their final version. And that's where you can add your own feedback and a final grade. Then you can see individuals' results and see how they're doing across the tasks they've done. And you can get whole class reports as well. So you can look at your whole class and see if someone's struggling or someone's doing particularly well using the tool. And although you have to pay for this, it's by students, so it depends how many students you have. There is actually a free 2-month trial for you to try it out. So you can try it out for free with absolutely no commitment. And I will now show you, because we don't have much time, and what I really want to do is show you Write and Improve in action. So I'm just sharing my screen now. I hope everyone can see. We now have the homepage for Write and Improve. And you can go straight in and practice. You don't even need to sign in. However, if you sign in, we can save your work. And then you can log in elsewhere on other devices at school and at home, and we can save your work so that you can come back to it anytime. So creating a profile is very simple and it's completely free. I'm going to sign in so I can show you all the features. So here you are in the workbooks. And here are the workbooks we have: one for beginner, intermediate, advanced, business, as I mentioned, and the Just for Fun. There's your test zone workbooks. Here's where you create a free workbook. There's where you join a workbook you've been invited to. Class view I will show you, and then your progress down here, and account features there where you can change your password, etc. I'm going to choose a task and leap straight in and show you Write and Improve as it happens. I'm going to choose a task, this is the last task in the book, about making a video about your school. And you write your essay in here, or you can copy and paste. I'm going to copy and paste because we just don't have time. So here's an essay written earlier. 179 words, so it tells you how many words you've written, how many words are required for the task you've written, you've answered, and then lets you know whether you've written enough and congratulates you, and you're ready to check. So I hope you can see it's very fast. It does depend on your internet connection, but within a few seconds, you get feedback. And I just need to clear my screen. So what you're seeing here is the feedback for this essay. First of all, the score. This essay scored an A2 on the CEFR level. And here's the feedback. It says, this is a good start. Now improve your writing, read the feedback, make changes, and click check again. This is where the improvement comes in, making changes based on the feedback. This is a score for how well or how completely you answered the task, how much you were on topic. And here are the sentence level feedback and the word level feedback. First thing you'll notice is that the feedback is given as a question. This is done to encourage students to think, not to spoon feed them, we say. They have to think, well, did I really make a mistake here? This is just a machine after all. Did you forget something? Did you need to add a? I think it would be a good idea. Okay, absolutely. This student, whoops, oh, excuse me, has to add a here. Move on to the next bit of feedback. We enjoy this class a lot. Perhaps activities is better. Ah, the word ending is wrong. This is an irregular plural, so we need to correct that. And they will want come. Of course, want is followed by the to infinitive, so add to. Now I'm going to check again because we're short of time, but you can check whenever you like and you can check as often as you like. So let's see what's happened now. Again, just a few seconds, and the student should see that they've made some improvement. And yes, level B1, it says, that's amazing, your writing is really improving. Pay attention to the feedback. What changes can you make? It's encouraging the student to edit their work, to look at what they've written and try to improve it all the time. So let's see what we can do. We're on the second paragraph now, where we have lunch, not having, we have lunch. And of course, we don't say the lunch in this context, so that can go too. And are happy to. Did you mean to write to? Is this the correct word? Again, it's encouraging the student to think about what they've written. And hopefully some of this will stick when they see that it does improve their writing. Finally is spelt wrongly there. Okay, there are, oh, let's have a look. There are, do you need to add a or something else? There are a lot of trees. I'm checking again. I just want to show you how this progresses and how it is for the student who's using this. It's really quite engaging. It can start to feel like a game. Here we are. The level is the same, but your writing improved. Well done. Don't give up. They can still make changes. There's still ways to improve. Down here, you can see there's a graph for each of the checks the student did. This is when they were A2, and then they went into the B1, and they're climbing up the B1 by tidying up the errors they made in this essay. White sentences are good sentences, no errors. Yellow sentences means that the system has detected errors, and these hashed, less strong, more faded sentences suggest there might be a problem. And yes, I can see one there. But I'll move on now because I don't want to take up all the time. There's lots more to show you. So that's how it works. In the progress section, the student can see their writing. So here's what this student wrote first time around. Here's what they changed. You can see what they changed and how it improved, much more white, good feedback. And then again, even more white, still things to fix. And the changes they made there. It's a little bit faint perhaps, but I hope that shows you enough to see how this can really engage students. No one is watching them, no one is judging them, and they're getting instant feedback that they can actually act on. Of course, there's an advantage for teachers too, because the teacher is seeing a final version of an essay. They're seeing an essay after their student has actually reread it and made some corrections. Imagine the relief. There's also an activity and awards section, so you can see that I've visited on the 8th on my calendar. This is to encourage students to come back and maybe even practice every day if possible. And there are awards for different achievements. This one I got for checking my first task. And there are lots more for different levels of achievement. I think I just have time to show you class view. Now, class view is, as I mentioned, the teacher feature. As you'll hear again, is the 2-month free trial. And this is a way for teachers to actually see what their students have done in their workbooks and how their students are doing. So here I have an example class with 8 students, and I can see what they've written visually, and I can choose a student. Here we are, and Enrique. And here he is, he's done well on his essay, he's certainly improved. And I can visit his writing. I can see his first draft and all the mistakes he made and the feedback he got. And then I can see the changes he made as he went through. What did he do there that made it much better? You see? And then there, and finally there, where his final version is. And you can look at all your other students, you can look at different tasks, and if we go back to, I think I might be running out of time, Muna. Is that right? Here you can add your feedback and add a grade and send feedback back to the student to keep them engaged in all this. Students love it, teachers are finding it really useful. I hope you'll recommend it to your students. I'm going to stop sharing and go back to you, Muna, so that we have time for questions.
Absolutely. So let me try and get back to our lovely presentation over here. And we have been getting loads of fantastic questions, I have to say, Diane.
Okay.
So,
I just wanted to mention here that we have tutorial videos, frequently asked questions in the Help Centre on Write and Improve. I should have shown you it. It's just at the bottom of the screen. Click Help Centre and there's lots of information about Write and Improve, about how to use Write and Improve, how to get the best out of it. And you can point your students to that too. And I think at this point, there's just one more, which shows the URL and then questions.
Yeah, and I
so
think
I'm ready for
crack
questions.
on. Fantastic.
I'm sorry if I talked for too long.
No, not at all. In fact, some of the slides that we've just shown actually addresses some of the questions. Let's start with Olga, who's actually been using Write and Improve with her students. She's very excited about using it and has so far had an absolutely great experience. Thank you for that, Olga.
Marvelous.
Olga has a very important question related to punctuation in academic writing. Can you please elaborate on the possible ways of teaching researching punctuation?
Teaching and researching punctuation in EAP for academic writing is a little bit out of my scope, I must admit, but I'm absolutely certain that there are things on the Cambridge English website about this. There's also the Cambridge Dictionary's online website. There's a grammar on there, which is very useful. But actually, nothing springs to mind, I'm afraid. It's not really my area of expertise. Maybe I could follow up with dig some things out. I don't know.
I'm sure
Maybe
we can always get back
has
to
some
Olga.
advice.
Yeah. Absolutely. There was another question from Arbo about can we rely on Write and Improve app to support teachers in their formative assessment with relation to different assessment goals, such as ELT units in ministries of education? So this is more about supporting the teachers and their development.
Well, teachers, like Olga, for example, teachers report that they find it extremely useful. It keeps a record of all their students' writing and their progress. So they're able to track how their students are progressing and what areas they're finding difficult. And it keeps a marvelous library of that progress, which is very good. You can download a spreadsheet of all the results from ClassView to look at the scores students are getting. I wonder whether that answers the question.
Yeah, it gives them that visibility, doesn't it, really?
Absolutely.
To help them become a better teacher, which would definitely lead into their sort of progression.
Exactly.
We've got another few, well, actually got quite a few questions. Is it possible to print the activities or is it an online activity only?
You can't print the activities at this moment. It's on a list of things we want to add to Write and Improve, very near the top, so that you can download the essays themselves. But at the moment, it's a copy and paste situation. Sorry.
And no worries. And a question from Israel. From 10% to 100%, how much accurate is the feedback that students receive from this platform?
Well, the algorithm that drives the feedback on Write and Improve is set to be extremely accurate and has been tested and tested. What we've done is we've set it at, the algorithm needs to be 90% certain that an error is an error before it gives any feedback at all. So it concentrates on being absolutely accurate rather than picking up all the errors that a student might make. It picks up the ones it's absolutely certain about. So you can rely on it. It's been thoroughly tested. You get very few false feedback where actually there isn't a mistake. I see very, very few of these. And of course, write and improve, but the more texts are submitted to it, the more the algorithm learns. So it's improving all the time. But I would say you can be pretty confident.
Absolutely. Eliana had a question about, does it actually provide feedback on content or grammar only?
Grammar and vocabulary and punctuation. It doesn't give feedback on the sort of argumentation or structures, those sort of things. This is for the teacher to tackle, but it's very language based. But the scoring takes into account all these things behind the scenes. So the score you get does look at how you've constructed your argument and whether you've been true to the prompt, etc. But the feedback itself is mostly language.
Okay, I'm conscious that we have only about 3 minutes left, so I'll try and run through a few. Can the teacher keep track of the number of corrections students make?
Yes, I think I showed that actually, that you can go through and see what each student changed each time, how they're using the tool, and how much they're responding to the feedback, and how well as well. So yes, you can track everything the student has done in class view. In the free version, no.
Susie had a question about specific tasks. Will there eventually be more specific tasks for C1 and C2 levels?
Yes, we add tasks as often as we can. We try to